students. All of you are welcome in bubble classes of economics. I am Dr. J.B.Sir and now today we will discuss theory of factor pricing. Why it is necessary to separate theory to study the factor pricing? Because pricing of product and pricing of factor. The pricing of factor is quite different from the pricing of the product. The price of factor is determined just like the price of the product, demand and supply. But it is quite different. The demand of the product is direct demand. The demand of the product is direct demand, and this demand is based on the marginal utility of the product, and supply of product is dependent on its monetary cost. So here it is clear that the supply of the product is dependent on the monetary cost, and the demand, which is the direct demand, depends on the marginal utility of the product. Whereas on the contrary, the demand of the factor is not the direct demand, but it is derived demand, which is emerged demand of the product due to demand of the product. When someone demands of the product, to fulfill this demand, the factor of the production, those are responsible to produce this product, are demanded. So the factor demand is derived demand. If a house is a product, and once a house is demanded, then from which products are helpful and from which product this house is to be built, bricks, cement, raw materials, iron rods, labors, those are called factor of production, and their demand is known derived demand. Okay, so factor demand is known as the derived demand, and supply of factor is dependent on their opportunity cost. So that's why this is little bit difference between the pricing of the product and the factor. That's why the different theory is to be needed to study of the factor pricing, and that's why the theory of factor pricing is to be needed to study the pricing of the factor, because factor's demand is the derived demand, and supply depends upon the opportunity of the factors. Now, this theory of factor pricing, also known as theory of distribution. This theory of factor pricing, also known as the theory of distributions. This distribution is classified into two categories. First is the personal distribution, and second is the functional distribution. Okay, here it is clear, and one thing is to be noted, that we are talking about the pricing of the factor. Here it is to be noted, very important. It is not the pricing of the factor, it is the pricing of their services, their uses during the production process. So we have to keep in our mind this thing, that pricing of services of factors which they provide during the production process, not the pricing of the factor, but the pricing of their services, their usage during the production function. It is to be clear here. So now we come on this matter, personal distributions and functional distributions. Personal distribution is related to income distributions. It is related to inequality of income and wealth and their impacts. So it studies the individual income and their impacts. We know that the national income is distributed. This personal distribution shows that national income is distributed the various persons or individual in the society. But this distributions, as is well known, that is not equally. So this distribution is not equally. That's why some are rich and other are poor, and their inequality will be greater. So the personal distribution studies how personal income is determined and how this inequality emerged. So the personal distribution is a broader concept, whereas the functional distribution is the part of the personal distribution, and personal distribution partially depends upon the functional distributions. So if we talk about the theory of distributions, then we will have to study the functional distributions, not the personal distributions, because functional distributions is related to explore this problem, that how the factor of production are remunerated, how their prices are determined. So functional distribution related to pricing of factors, whereas personal distribution is related to personal income and inequality of the income wealth. This personal distributions explores that how much income an individual will be able to get depends not only on the prices of factor which a firm has, but also on the amount of that particular factor which this firm owns, as well as prices and amount of other productive factors that it may causes. So this is explained by the personal distributions. So personal distribution is the larger concept, broader concept as compared to the functional distribution, because functional distribution is only related to the factor pricing. Okay, now we will classify the functional distributions into the two categories. This functional distribution is classified into the two theories. First is the micro theory of the functional distributions, and second one is the macro theory of the functional distributions. The micro theory of the functional distributions is related to the problem of determinations the relative prices of factor. Okay, it is related to the relative prices of the factor. It means it is related to the prices of the factors. And whereas the macro theory of the functional distributions is related to the relative shares of factors in national income. So it is related to contributions of the factors in national income. We explain like this micro theory of functional distributions, that these are the factor of productions: land, labor, capital, and entrepreneur. Okay, the price of the land is rent, labor remunerations is wage, capital is interest, entrepreneur is the profit. So these relative prices are determined with the help of the micro theory of the functional distributions. Whereas suppose this is the national income length, okay, from A to F. Okay, this is AF is the national income, and macro theory of functional distributions related to the determination of the relative shares of the factors in the national income. A to S, this is wage. S to T, this is rent. T to O, this is interest, and O to F, this is profit. This scale shows the relative shares of the various factor of production in the national income. So national income equal to A S plus S T plus T O plus O F. So this macro theory, which is also known as the theory of distributive shares, shows the relative shares of the factors with help of this scales. So A F equal to AS plus ST plus TO plus OF. Now this is the theory of the distributions. Now in our next lecture we will discuss marginal productivity of theory. Okay, thank you.